some of the most gruesome and some of the most infamous murders in the entire history of our country. And tonight, a convicted killer from the Manson family is walking free. Leslie Van Houten released on parole after 53 years behind bars. Now, she was, of course, a part of the group that terrorized Los Angeles over 2 nights in 1969, killing 7 people in some of the most gruesome of ways, including actress Sharon Tate, who at the time was pregnant. Van Houten was convicted of killing a couple in their own home, stabbing the wife 16 times at the crime scene. Now, she wiped her fingerprints at that crime scene. She changed her clothes. She even drank chocolate milk from her victim's refrigerator. And she says that she did it as a follower of Manson's.
I believe that he was Jesus Christ. And it was his view and belief that all of this would happen. And part of his thing was not to have individual thinking and don't ask questions. And I bought into it lock, stock, and barrel. So I never asked him, well, how is that going to happen?
Now, California's Governor Gavin Newsom had previously rejected her parole 3 separate times, but this time he didn't fight it. I want to bring in Anthony DeMaria. His uncle, Jay Sebring, was one of the victims of the Manson family. Anthony, thank you for joining me this evening. You know, there's been a lot that has been talked about and said over the years, 5 decades worth and more. The nation, of course, has been fascinated by all that happened. It is unbelievable to think this is a member of your own family who was one of the victims. Before we even begin, you know, tell me what you're feeling on a day like today, knowing that one more person is now freed.
Well, the first thing is obviously my thoughts are with the victims, all the victims, and all of our families, because as Leslie collectively tortured, conspired, and killed her victims, so too our families are collectively bound by the loss and suffering of her crimes. And it's clearly that Leslie Van Houten's release it profoundly impacts our families, but I fear that a very dangerous, pernicious precedent is established today that will impact millions of victims of violent crimes throughout the state of California today and in the years to come.
What is that precedent that you're talking about? Because, of course, you have been very critical, understandably, of the idea that she considers herself to be a victim of Charles Manson. And I wonder, what is the precedent you're speaking about, that the governor has decided not to stop this appeal or appeal once again? What is the precedent?
The precedent is established now. You have Leslie Van Houten has always kind of propped herself up as a Manson follower, but she's anything but. She is a cold-blooded killer in one of the most notorious murder rampages in United States history. So with her release now, any other violent criminal or killer whose crimes fall beneath the bar of Leslie Van Houten's very extreme, very crimes that also have historical impact, that opens the door for them. And it is our fear that the floodgates in the California penal system will be unhinged.
I am curious, has she ever reached out to you or members of your family? I mean, she spent more than 50 years now behind bars. There are others, obviously, who have been convicted. Has there been any contact between the now released woman and yourself or your family?
No, with Leslie Van Houten, she committed the crimes on Waverly with the Rosemary and Lito LaBianca, and was not present at my uncle's murder on the evening of August 8th. As I understand it, there are certain CDCR rules that prohibit the offenders to contact the families. So, so no, I haven't received any outreach from Leslie.
What's your view now of Governor Gavin Newsom, knowing that he did not, at this occasion, fight?
You know, I appreciate that question. I certainly have respect for Governor Newsom and the Attorney General. But our families strongly, vehemently disagree with their decision not to file an appeal.
Anthony DeMaria, thank you for joining us, and thank you for shedding some light on your family members, and we will think of them as a part of your family, not just in the gruesome way that all of this has been described. Thank you so much.